Hello everybody, this is Siren here, and today is the anniversary, a 1 year anniversary of me starting up my YouTube channel. Yay! Let's set up the confettis, the parties, everything else, and then we will have and then this is a wonderful day today. Yay! Oh, that's how I usually am. Those of you that are new to my channel, I made an announcement a week ago about the 1 year anniversary coming up and that I wanted to do something special, and this is the video. I will explain a little bit more about myself to you guys, and especially about why I started up a YouTube channel. So, I'm I'm never good at I'm never good at talking about myself because I do talk to people about what I like and my hobbies and and pretty much what I do when I'm not doing stuff, especially working. But so I'm going to tell you guys my name since I've always been referred to as Siren, but on my YouTube channel I kind of prefer that way, but so my name is Sierra, and so I actually live up in Oregon, and I've been living here for almost 10 years now. But I grew up near the area, mostly in Washington State, for a long time. And one of the stuff I like to do, growing up, I've been a really big bookworm, and I mean a really big bookworm. I would read books all the time during my free time, and I did get into video games growing up, but I wasn't that into it because I grew up in a household where um, things are, well, I mostly lived with my mom, and she, growing up, she wants us to make sure that we grow up without getting too deep into technologies besides computers, and so that's what we did. But I I mean, the first game console I got, my dad got me and my twin sister. I have a twin sister. um, the first thing that my dad got us for our first actual video game experience was a Nintendo 64, and it was a really great gift. We had like Super Mario, Yoshi's Story. Um, we even had Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, and Pokemon Stadium 2. And those were the highlights of everything. um, but me and my twin sister, we mostly grew up with being around, like, collecting Pokemon cards and toys and movies. We didn't grow up watching the TV show much, but we really enjoyed the movies a lot. But back then, me and her, we would always compete, challenge each other with the Pokemons that we had selected, and battle it out on Pokemon Stadium or two. And we're very competitive against each other. We were, and one of us would lose, one of us would win. It's like a back and forth thing, but when it comes to Pokemon battles on, like, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, we take it very seriously. We were both very competitive against each other at the time. Anyway, also, I'm a really big animal lover. I grew up around dogs and cats, and those of you that are new to my channel, sorry, my throat is kind of has been acting off for the last few days. Those of you new to my channel, um, I mean, he has shown himself a few times here and there on my YouTube channel when I started recording. But hang on a second. I'm gonna go grab him. Hi. Hey, so this is Samson. I'm not sure if I heard you wheezing. He does this all the time. Anyway, this is Samson. He is 10 years old. I know. He actually doesn't look Samson. See, he doesn't look 10, but he is 10 years old, so he's an old boy. But it's okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you. My boyfriend actually had him since he was a puppy, and we didn't get together until like 2017, somewhere around there. Um but yeah, I didn't get to meet him until sometime after we started getting together, and he was the most cutest thing in the world. And you still are, don't worry. You're still a handsome boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put you down now. I'm gonna let be free. Be free. Anyway, and then I and then we have another dog, Dakota. Hang on a second. Here she is. This is Dakota, my baby girl. She is 9 years old, but she'll be 10 in May. She's a mama's girl. As you can see, she's a beagle mix. Um, I actually adopted her from the shelter when she was 3 years old, and yeah, see, she wants down. So here you go. Anyway, I adopted her when she was 3 years old, so she was still a young adult dog, but at the time I wasn't ready to have like a puppy or anything like that, since it's a really big responsibility, and at the time I was in college and I just don't have the time to take a lot of time and energy trying to raise a puppy, so I decided to get an older dog. So I got her, Dakota, and she's just a really big sweetheart, and I love her so much. And yeah, as you can see, I love my pets. They mean the world to me. They're my children. They are my kids, and they are just the best. They are just the best. Anyway, but yeah, that's how. Sorry, my like I said, my throat is a little bit off today. It is flu season, so I'm hoping it's not the flu, but you'll never know. um, but yeah, I've been living up in Oregon for college since 2015, and I decided to um move here permanently afterwards. And I moved in with my boyfriend, and he and I have been living together ever since, and we've been together ever since. So we've been in a really long relationship, and it's been a good relationship, even though it has its ups and downs. Um, cause back then, so this is the part where I will get deep about myself a little bit more. And now Dakota wants pets. She's literally right here, which is why my hand, if you notice my hand moving a little bit, it's just me petting Dakota. She's literally right here. Since I have picked her up, now she wants pets. um, anyway, so, let's see, where do I start? Back in middle school. I mean, middle school wasn't too bad, but obviously I didn't know what's going to be like, and I was bullied a little bit here and there in middle school, but I was in choir. I'm also a music person. I mostly did choir growing up, like in grade school and then middle school all the way up to high school, and then I still continued on with singing for a long time after that. I did college choir, even when I transferred to a university up here. I continued on doing choir, because at first I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with singing because I was going into other stuff, but then I changed my degree a few times, which I had heard is a common thing for other people to do while they're in college. Um but yeah, near the end of my college year, I was literally like oh man. Sorry, I'm getting way off topic. Anyway, so back in my middle school years, I was one of those very social kids growing up. I hung out with a lot of people, um, But I knew that something was off with me because I was in one of these special classes. I mean, my education was no I had no problems with educational stuff at all. Like I was one of those math whiz kids. Like I could do like I easily solve multiplication problems in my head cuz they're like embedded in my brain because I was one of those math kids that gets like straight A's in them. But I wasn't in one of those honor classes or AP classes for short in high school. I mostly did like I mostly did like algebra classes. I even took a geometry class at one point in high school, and surprisingly I did well in that one too. I passed my classes with flying colors. But since I was a kid, I've always had a hard time like I noticed I'm pretty sure you guys noticed it too while I am sitting here. I've always had a hard time like sitting still for a long period of time. I would always like fidget around or play with my hands or with my hair because sitting still or standing up is not my strong suit at all. I've always been one of these kids that I feel like I need something to do. Like I need to do something instead of just sitting around and doing nothing. Cuz I get bored real easily and I never knew like why that is until like years later growing up. Um I sometimes have a hard time paying attention to stuff and understanding stuff. Sometimes I still kind of do, but it's a little bit better. And a few years ago I found out that I had ADHD, which is the reason why I get bored so easily or why I feel like I just need to pretty much occupy myself with stuff like watching movies or read books or play video games on my off time. I always feel like I just need to do something, especially go outside. I learn some there are times where I drive around town just to like get like just go out, you know? Cuz I feel like I need to do something. But probably I think it was during my 8th grade year of middle school, my last year of middle school where things starts to change drastically cuz I went through a trauma during that time, and when school started up again, things have like changed for me cuz it was hard. I was coping with the loss of a family member that time, and I couldn't like move past it because it was the first time I've ever like experienced the loss of a loved one at that time, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to cope with it because I never got any counseling done or any coping mechanisms like advices or anything like that. So I mainly, when I started my 8th grade year, I just shut down. Like, literally shut down. I could not speak to my classmates because I was scared. I was just shut down. I couldn't say a word to anybody, especially to my teachers. And the only people I would talk to is my close friends. They were the only people I would talk to at school. And you know, back then a lot of people noticed like right off the bat on the first day that my behavior is off, and they couldn't understand why I would not talk to them because I would always talk to them like all the time. And it was just hard because they would like I remember clearly that I would hear a whisper from them because I moved like from right across from them when they decided to pair me up with someone in a class, and I remember that day that they were whispering, like, they would say stuff like, "What is her problem?" or "What's with her attitude?" And they, at the time, they just didn't get that I was like experiencing like trauma, and I just shut down because I didn't know what to do. I've I was I was like depressed at the time, but back then when that happened, I didn't know what that feeling was until I found out later on in high school when my um mental health got worse over the years, cuz I was just depressed all the time, and I just couldn't like I just didn't have the energy to go to school or do homework or classwork. I was like in a really bad depressive state, and I just couldn't figure out what to do. Um, and my family, my parents at least, they couldn't figure out like what to do either, because they've never like dealt with something like what I was going through before. Because none of my sisters didn't have this problem until like later in life, as they were growing up with kids of their own. But it was just really hard. And then during my sophomore year in high school, I started to move in with my dad, who lives not very far from here. My mom still lives in Washington State, while my dad, he's been living in the same town for a long time, where me and my twin sister were born. And um, I decided to move in with him because I was having like issues that I just couldn't like get out of. Like, my mom and I's relationship was, I mean, it's good now. It's a positive relationship between me and her, but at the time, I just couldn't, like, it's hard to describe it. I just couldn't, like, uh, I just couldn't. It's hard to describe it because I can't, like, put it into words, because to me, it was a traumatic thing because it literally almost fractured, because of what I experienced, it almost like ruined my relationship with my mom. Um, I lived with my dad during my sophomore and my junior year of high school. I moved in with him and went to a different school for a bit, and things I thought that things would get better. I mean, it was a little bit fine when I was living with him, but during my junior year, things were horrible again, because I made friends over there, and then during my junior year of that time, I I was having a hard time like interacting in a social group at that point, because I couldn't socialize with a big group of crowd. I couldn't figure out what to say or who to talk to among them. And one day when I went to the cafeteria where we usually meet up, um, they were no longer there. They never told me if they were going to go have lunch someplace else at school. So I was mainly like left out, and my depression just skyrocketed because I felt abandoned, and uh it was just hard that time. I've never really talked about this with anybody, but um uh but yeah, high school was not the highlight of my life, because just a lot of these stuff happening here and there, and like I said, I was having a hard time making friends, especially in um the different high school where I transferred to. Um it was just hard. It was just hard. So I felt abandoned, and I didn't have like any friends to talk to at school. And it was just hard, and I never told my parents or my twin sister about any of that. Like any of that. So this is the first time I'm opening up about it ever. But anyway, after my junior year, I made a big decision to move back in with my mom and my twin sister because I wanted to graduate with my friends down there and with my twin sister um before I started up our last year of high school of our senior year. So I moved back in with my mom at that point, and we were getting everything ready so that I could be transferred back to the high school where I went to during my freshman year. And it took a while, but over time, we were able to get everything together and everything prepared so that I am ready enough to go back to school. And figuring out what classes I should go into was kind it wasn't that hard, especially since I was kind of doing well in high school, but there was still a few things I need to finish up um before I graduated, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like anything major. But senior year wasn't it wasn't too bad. I mean, I got to be with my friends again, and it was a great time. And then before my senior year of high school, I started opening up more. Surprisingly, I was opening up a little bit, little by little, with my classmates in group discussions, and that was a really big step because back then I couldn't like even talk to anyone outside of my friends. I couldn't even talk to anyone. But I was able to graduate high school, and then college. I went to college straight out of high school. I went to a community college in my hometown where I grew up, and that was like the highlight of my life. It was it was a crazy experience and completely different, but I've gotten used to it, and I made some friends, especially in my vocal group that I signed up for in college. Then after that, I transferred. I wanted to go to a 4-year college, a university or something. I applied at 3 different colleges, and I got accepted to all three. The problem was I had to figure out which college I wanted to go to now. It was kind of a hard decision, and I was kind of debating it, but I decided to go to a college um here where I decided to permanently move into. College, I mean, when I moved up here, it wasn't easy being a little bit far from my family. They weren't too far, but at the same time it felt like they're far away in my opinion at the time. But um I was living in the dorms on the college campus for a couple of years, and it was not very easy, but I've gotten used to it, and I made friends with with a couple of people. I got to meet some people as well. I even got to join the college, like the choir at the college, and it was a really fun experience. And there was stuff at at that school that I never thought I was going to do at all. Um, but anyway, my so I'm gonna skip up a little bit to um why I started a YouTube channel. Um, so after college, I I couldn't really figure out what to do, so I took on like part-time jobs here and there afterwards. And I mean, I because I'm not very social, and everything, I thought, why not work as a cashier? So that's what I did for about a year or so, and it started becoming a little too much. So I took up a full time job, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine until I had a crazy breakdown a few years back, and I had to take medical leave, and I had to be part time for a while after that. Um, I'll probably explain that in more detail some other time because I don't want to keep you guys if you guys are too busy, especially with the holidays coming up. Anyway, skipping that, last year my mental health got really worse. My anxiety was just out of control. I was depressed all the time again, and my anxiety was so bad. Like, it was on a whole other level. It was like the strongest feeling I've ever had with my mental state. Like, it affected my work so badly that I had to make a really tough call of possibly quitting, and unfortunately that's what I had to do. I had to quit my job due to my mental health. But um I did take a little over a year off from work for actually finding a job, actually, cuz I wanted to try to take care of myself before I actually make the commitment of working again and finding a different place to work. So that's what I did. My depression was still pretty bad. I couldn't figure out what to do because I was seeing like many different counselors on and off over the years, like many different kinds of counselors, and there was at times where my appointments would either be canceled a lot, or they would be like, oh well, they're taking like a whole month or 2 months off or 3 months off, so we can schedule for you for whenever they come back after that time. And I'm like, but uh it was bad. I went without counseling or seeing anybody for long periods of time at some point last year, that my mental health got so bad, to the point that my depression was just too much, like too much. It was hard to manage and control. I just could not get out of that. And at that point, I was given the option by um some counselors, especially someone that I knew over the years, that helps me find jobs, because she's one of the only people that um I told like deep stuff about. And I was given the option to go back home and stay, or at least go back with my mom for a couple of days and just de-stress and just not think about these sorts of things that right now, until they set me up with someone who wouldn't like change jobs or would no longer be at these places. So it was really hard. And my mom my mom she she was my rock, even though I back then I said horrible things to her. But I learned that I was just going through a difficult time and I couldn't figure out how to handle it, so I didn't blame her. But I talked to her about some stuff that was going through my head at the time and why I was feeling like that. Um, she really helped me through it. And my dad, ever since that happened, I he literally calls me every day, especially now. Cuz he worries about me like a lot, and I felt bad, but he always tell me to not feel bad, that that um he's my dad, that he cares about me, and that he wants to make sure that I'm okay. And it was like a really heartfelt moment with my parents, cuz they mean the world to me. My family means the world to me. Without them, I don't think I can ever get out of whatever with my deep depression the way I did. Anyway, after that happened, um I watched like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier mostly, and I've been watching them since college, but at that time, I felt like I really, really need like a positive outlet. Even if it's like it's hard to say it, but I've been watching a lot of Jacksepticeye lately where he talks about his mental health, and that was an eye opener for me. And after watching more and more of Jack and Mark's videos over the years, and then the recent stuff, like the recent videos that I've seen them in, it really inspired me to try making YouTube video, because my boyfriend, he's been trying to convince me to start up a YouTube channel for a long time. And I would go like, no, 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 I'm not interested. Also because I'm camera shy, and I'm always afraid of talking into a mic and letting people hear me talk. um, but yeah, so after I told my boyfriend, like, hey, I want to start up a YouTube channel. Do you think that's a good idea? He's like, heck yeah, let's do it. So that was the start of me starting up a YouTube channel, and it's been a really big positive outlet starting up a YouTube channel. I'm not in it for the money or anything. I'm just here to have fun, and hopefully maybe I could give hopefully people that watch my video would see like a positive outlet about it, cuz horror games, I easily get scared playing horror games, like really easily, and I mean really easily. uh my first few videos that I did last year, it was nerve wracking because I was completely nervous, and I was worried that it wasn't going to be good or anything like that, because I've never like edited videos before or recorded anything. So it was pretty it was nerve wracking, and I was extremely nervous. And I'm one of those people that lacks confidence all the time. I'm not a very confident person, like at all. But over time, I've gotten used to um, making YouTube videos, and I've been doing it once a week. And I'm still uploading videos once a week, because I found a job now. I've been at it for a couple months, and it's a great job. Um, and I told myself that, okay, since I'm gonna be working again, I don't want to quit my YouTube channel, because one of the first times I've ever felt a positive, like, felt positive about and confident about. So even after finding a job, I've been, obviously, as you guys saw, if you have seen my videos and seen me upload videos, I've been keeping up on it and been doing them once a week. So it was great, and it was so much fun. I've always had a good time making, like, recording videos and playing horror games, and I would like to try other games. I just need if there's games I've never heard of, I would definitely give it a try if it's the type of game that at least I might be interested in. But I do accept recommendations. I really do, especially ones I've never heard before. But yeah, so that's why I started up a YouTube channel, because it was one of the positive things that helped me get through my depression, and it gave me more confidence, and it just made me, for the first time throughout my whole life, it made me feel positive about myself. And now I'm doing okay, especially since I've been keeping up with my job that I've been at for a couple months. And recently, I actually joined a band, which is crazy because I never thought that I would ever like do performances again, ever, like singing or anything like that. I never thought that I would ever sing again. But yeah, so far, because this would be my third time in band practice. We're meeting up once a week, but um since this would only be my third band practice, as far as I know, we're not going to be doing performances anytime soon. I believe, as far as I know, I'm still new with all of that, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe I will sing on my YouTube channel at some point. I don't know. um, but yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say. The reason why I wanted to bring up my mental health is because I've been watching Jacksepticeye talk about his own mental health and struggle, and it really inspired me to open up about it as well, because I it's something that needs to be talked about, and I truly believe that opening up about mental health, especially when I bring up my own, would help people, that they're not alone with feeling what they're feeling or what they're going through, especially when you struggle with your mental health or depression. Um, because right now I'm okay, I'm fine, and it's really the first time in years that I've ever felt okay and good about myself, because I've always thought of negativity about myself all the time. Sometimes I do, but not as much as I did, like when when I first started struggling with mental health. Um so yeah, that's pretty much it about me. Just real quick, um since the holidays are coming up, I I should have time to do like record before then. I'm not too sure though. I might go ahead and start recording before Christmas. I'm not sure, but I know that around New Year's Eve I won't be able to record because I have some stuff going on and I'm going to be out of town for a few days. So yeah. So I will be back next week, and I will try to record early before Christmas and get that done and uploaded. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that talking a little bit about myself would be helpful in some ways. uh cuz like I said, I don't really talk about myself, especially my mental health, all that much, but I want to for my 1 year anniversary, because it's important to talk about these sorts of things and let people know that they're not alone with feeling like the depression or struggling, or the struggle of mental health. So yeah. uh I can't think of anything else to say, but that's pretty much it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Okay? Bye, and have a Merry Christmas!